Can you guys see me? Yay, you can. I can see me too. I was teaching. Had to switch gears really quick. Thanks, you guys, for being patient for a few minutes. My students have already had 2 hours of me this afternoon, so they're probably like a little overdosed. It's so great to see you guys. Happy Monday. Happy New Moon in Gemini. This is a fun new moon. You floated away. That's exactly right. I'm still floaty. We did a meditation, and it's like I'm having to like really consciously get back in my body. Really, really happy to see you, and thank you for being there tonight. So tonight, Sarah, mwah. That's so awesome. Astra Ravenwood said, my birthday's next week and fox is my animal. We're doing fox tonight, darling. Fox medicine. And fox is fun medicine. Fox is curious, and fox doesn't understand boundaries. Fox can shapeshift, fox can transform, fox is elusive, fox is all of those things. And so tonight's kind of a playful new moon. Brianna is new. It's nice to meet you too. Anybody else new, by the way? I mean, I recognize a lot of you, but is anybody else new? New to Ritual with me, new to Sage Goddess, new to... Oh God, Tracy Wickersham is going to get that song stuck in my head. What does the fox say? My kids both had little t-shirts that said, what does the fox say? Look at all the new. Welcome, you guys. Norma is not new. New today, maybe. Welcome. Erica and Wendy. So good to see all of you guys. And Susie is new. And Amy's new. Anime is new. Fantastic. Christian's new. Jackie's new. Well, I just want to tell you, I'm really happy that you're here. I started Sage Goddess 8 years ago next month, which is hard for me to believe that Sage Goddess is almost 10 years old. And when I started Sage Goddess, my commitment to my spirit guides was that I would always do free and live full moon ritual every month on the night of the full moon. And I have held to that commitment. It has been free and live on the full moon. In fact, they're all archived on YouTube. And you can have a field day watching old full moon rituals. But then it was like, the new moon is just as important, because the new moon is like that cosmic blank slate. It's like a blank check. And you write what you want to create. You know, it's like you imprint tonight into the energy field of our multiverse. You push your fingerprints in. You know, you decide tonight what's going to unfold for you in the next lunar cycle. So tonight is like wish making time. And then a new moon in Gemini is really about, because all new moons are about new beginnings, but tonight is a new beginning around your thought process. Geminis, the good thing about Geminis is they're so smart. I have yet to meet an unintelligent Gemini. They are wordsmiths. They're magicians with words, a little bit. The downside of Geminis, first of all, they're the twins. Okay? You get person number 1 on this day, and you get person number 2 on that day. I always tell people, if you're dating a Gemini, if you haven't met number 2, you don't know your Gemini. Like, you gotta wait till that other person comes out. Karen Brown's like, la 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 la. Happy birthday, Karen Brown. Geminis are dual, right? And in beautiful ways, but they're also, they can be a little, I don't like to use the word crazy, because I think I'm a little crazy. I mean, I don't like to make crazy into a bad thing. But y'all are complicated. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say that you're crazy, but y'all got some different stuff going on. That's right. But you're fun and you're smart. And you're never boring. Like, nobody who's with a Gemini goes, wow, I'm really bored. I wish that there was some excitement in my life. They're always like, I could go for like even keeled, you know? But you guys keep it exciting. Here's the challenge, though. Nice to see you, Karen. Here's the challenge, though, is Geminis think too much. They almost take the joy out of it or the beauty out of it sometimes, because they're turning the diamond and they're looking at every facet, and they're if they have any Virgo, it's especially true, right? Because then they take that like overthinking and they add in the critical nature, and it's like that's kind of a real challenge, right? So tonight, here's what I want you to think about. Tonight, let's indulge the fun, dual, a little bit crazy, extra complicated magic of Gemini. But let's not do too much of the overthinking paranoid part. Let's work with the fun twin tonight, right? I never dated a Gemini. And honestly, like, I don't think they found me interesting. And I don't know why that is, except that I'm double fire. So, my mantra in life is ready, fire, aim. I act now and I think later, which has gotten me, and especially when I was young, like that was all kinds of trouble. I literally would fire without aiming. It was just like, boom, I don't know what's happening. And so Geminis, I think, would look at me and see that as kind of like irresponsible and volatile. I don't know. Well, Cecilia, you and I are already married, darling. Good. Sharon brought her fun twin. So see, you're already you got the party started. We're all good. Okay, so here's what tonight's about. Tonight is about letting yourself be of two minds. One of the reasons I think Geminis are so brilliant, and I really do. I think if you ask me who the smartest people in the zodiac are, I'm going to say it's Geminis. I'm just going to say it's true. Thank you for that, Ellie. They're smarter than everybody else most of the time. Do you want to know what my definition of intelligence is? Because I have a very unique definition of intelligence, and Geminis adhere to it, which is why I think they're so smart. You ready? My definition of intelligence is being able to hold two different perspectives or two different views, especially if they're conflicting, and not buy into one or the other completely, but to be able to hold the possibility that opposites are both accurate. That's a big brain that can do that, because the human brain tends to want to categorize and delimit. Like, this is right, this is wrong, this is black, this is white, this is yes, this is no. We're binary thinkers by definition, human beings, and that's because it makes life easier. But Gemini is all the shades of sexy gray in between. But what about that? But isn't this possible? But we could also do it that way. Have you thought of that? Right? They're open-minded, they're open-hearted, they're fun, they're exciting, they're interesting. Libras are like this too, but Libras don't intellectualize it the way Geminis do. Geminis could almost list off for you like the academic sources to support their thinking. Libras are a little more free thinking. Gemini still gets bound by convention sometimes. So Libras do it, but it's more playful. Geminis do it, and it's like it's serious business. Does that make sense? Because each air sign, like Aquarians are a whole different creature. Geminis are the intellect of the like overthinking, I'm going to cite my sources intellect of the air signs. Libras are the playful, let's consider all the options because that's fun, and I brought the party of the air signs, right? They're going to crack a joke, they're going to make you laugh, because Geminis can sit with conflict. Libras can't. Libras fucking hate conflict. Libras are like, can't we all just get along? And Geminis are like, maybe we can't. Maybe we can. But Libras are like, no, we can, right? And then Aquarius is like, you're both crazy. I'm going to go do something different just to prove to you that I'm different. And Gemini is like, whatever, I can't take you seriously. And Libra's like, I'll come with you. Can't we all be friends? Come on, Aquarius. Come on, Gemini. Can't we all get along? Anyway, sometimes I do interpretive dancing when I teach astrology, and I think it helps you remember. Oh my God, no. I mean, you cannot, Norma's like, try asking your Gemini husband to help me decide what to do. No, and try asking a Libra to decide anything. You better decide. I'm Libra rising, and I'm like that too. Like if you ask me where do I want to go for dinner, I'll be like, well, the menu here is pretty good, but this other restaurant is new and I heard it was good too. And then, but I always love going here. And my husband will be like, so where are we going? I don't know. Where do you want to go? But then I'm a Leo, so if you take me to the place I didn't want to go, then I'm going to be really pissed for the rest of the night and I'm going to glare at you. This is where astrology gets really funny, because your rising sign is one thing, that's the person who shows up to the party, but your sun sign is the person you take home. And that can be a real different package, depending on what's going on there. I always say, I just look friendly. I am Leo, though, to the core, but I'm Libra rising, so I look like, oh, I don't know, and then on the inside, I'm like, no, I absolutely know. Okay, so duality tonight, split consciousness. This is, think of tonight this way. Tonight is an invitation to your imagination. And here's what we're doing tonight with our tools. So we're working with 2 different candles tonight, because our theme is pierce. And you are piercing the veil tonight. You are piercing the energy field. So we're going to light the gold candle tonight with one intention, and we're going to light the purple candle tonight with a second intention. And that is going to be about what your light desires. Keep in mind that we have a summer solstice happening before the next new moon, which next month is in Cancer. Your tools are in the shop. Remind me to tell you about the Enter to Win that's happening today with the new moon set, by the way. If you purchase your new moon tools today, if you already did, you're all set. If you purchase them before midnight, one of you, and your chances are really good, is going to win this huge quartz generator with a full inner child quartz point in the top of it. It is so beautiful. So anyway, and all you have to do is purchase your kit tonight. You don't have to enter. There's no code. I'm just going to choose one person and put that in the package with their new moon set tomorrow. So good luck. Really? Andrew said purple and gold were his high school colors. What beautiful high school colors, by the way. Like, that would have actually made me excited to wear my my uniform for drill team and flags that I did in high school. Okay, so I'm going to start by smudging. But as we begin to prepare the space for tonight's work, what I want you to think about tonight is this. The mantra for tonight, are you ready? So good to see you guys. The mantra for tonight is this: there's always another way. I want you to break out of some stuck mindsets tonight. I have had the experience lately of feeling stuck in the last couple of months. Not constantly, but like coming and going. You know what I mean? Where I just feel like there isn't enough movement of the energy. And what I came to realize tonight, and I've been working this medicine, so I'm not preaching to you. I'm telling you, this is what I do. If you want to know how I get unstuck, my mantra is, there's always another way. Because it's true. And so when I feel like I'm stuck, I ask myself, what's the other way? If I can't do it this way, what's the other way? If this isn't working, what's the other way? If I'm feeling sad and discouraged, as we all do sometimes, what's the other way? If this feels hard, what I'm doing right now, and I'm struggling, what's the other way? And here's why that question is so powerful. It's an invitation to your spirit guides to intervene and help you. Sometimes I will just sit down, because people ask me all the time, so what do? Do you ever get bummed? Do you ever get discouraged? Do you ever get disappointed in people? Do you ever feel like this isn't worth it? Do you ever feel like you don't want to do this anymore? And it's like, are you kidding me right now? I feel all those things, just like you do, but I don't live there. As soon as I feel those things, my inner work begins. And the first question I ask myself, especially lately, is, so what's the other way? Because you're never as stuck as you think you are. It's perspective, as I teach my students. You're only stuck if you believe that you're stuck. And what happens is, and I feel bad for us, honestly, as humans, because sometimes it's like you think you're stuck, but you're standing in front of a locked door, and you don't realize that there's 5 other doors right here, and they're all open. but because we tend to have like sort of singular tunnel vision, human beings, and me too. If I'm standing in front of an obstacle, I will just like keep trying to unlock that door, and it's like, what am I doing right now? Like sometimes I have to stop myself and just go, this is ridiculous. And so as soon as I ask myself, what's the other way, or as soon as I say, spirit guides, show me what's behind door number 2, it's like this whole new wave of energy pushes through, and it illuminates this third space, this option C, this other unlocked door that I've been ignoring this whole time because I'm human and I tend to only be able to see one thing at a time, right? So like Farrah Peterson, beautiful name by the way, said, deep down I know there's another way. And so Kara asks, how do I see it? I'm blinded sometimes. Ask to be shown. Every time, Kara, I tell my spirit guides, I feel stuck and show me the other way, all of a sudden I see something in Facebook. All of a sudden I get a private message. All of a sudden there's a text. All of a sudden, and sometimes it takes a day or two, sometimes it takes weeks, but that door opens. And I always just stand back and am amazed. It's like magic is real, but you do have to ask for help sometimes. But what I've noticed is when we are really stressed, it's really true. When we're really stressed, we forget to ask for anything. We don't ask for help. We don't ask for guidance. We just sit there and stew in it and get frustrated and angry and then depressed and bitter and then closed off and lonely. You know what I mean? Like we, as humans, we find ourselves going down this whole kind of, negative trajectory without stopping and saying, this isn't how I want to live my life. This isn't how I want to live my life. I want to experience something different. I'm glad it's resonating with you. I love that living woke-ish. I love that so much. Right, Kyle? Like, it's very true. I'm glad, Miss MJ, I see you. And it can be confusing. But just literally, every time you feel like this from now on, I want you to imagine me coming and like tapping you on the shoulder and literally going, look over there. Like, there, because I promise you there's a door, but you just, it's like, it is so human nature. And here's the bigger problem, right? Nobody else talks about this. So you think you're the only one that can't see the other doors. But what you don't realize is everybody else around you is having the same dilemma. They're all staring at their same door too. And we end up with a whole population of people who are depressed and medicated. You know what I mean? It's like, we need to have a little bit of a wake-up call. There is more to life, but you're going to have to open your mind. And if a new moon in Gemini isn't the right occasion for you, I gotta tell you, I don't know what is. It's really true. You need a reminder. So tonight, if you have your tools, we are crafting. We are making what's called liquid incense, and I want to open your mind to a new way of working with your essential oils. So this is your blending bottle. Didn't Gabriel do a beautiful job on the art, by the way, too? And then you have 5 different essential oils in your kit. You have gem rosa, frankincense, eucalyptus, balsam of Peru, and blue lotus. Liquid incense is perfume that you do not dilute with a carrier oil because you do not put it on your skin, but you do put it on charcoal and you burn it. And so it becomes a form of incense, but it's essential oil based. The reason you don't dilute it is that will sort of water down the fragrance and also the energy too, unless the carrier oil that you're using has a frequency that you also want to work with, and some of them do. But what I will tell you is what we're making tonight is not something that I would apply directly to your skin, because essential oils shouldn't be put on your skin what they call neat or undiluted, because some of them are actually quite strong and can really irritate your skin. So this is not a perfume, this is liquid incense. If you want to make it into a perfume, all you have to do is add carrier oil. If you do that, you will have a perfume on your hands. There's a little card in your kit telling you not to drink your oils or use them undiluted on your skin. Right? It's more potent when you don't use a carrier oil. Okay, so those are your tools. When we do our meditation here in just a minute, your palm stones are meant to be held one in each hand. And it's your light and your shadow. It's your angel and your devil, so to speak. Okay? It is, because again, we're working with that duality tonight of the energy of the twins. And we're working with fox medicine, which tells us we can be both. We're not bound, right? Fox is all about shape-shifting, moving from one form to another, being playful, moving outside of categories and stereotypes and allowing yourself to emerge as some new creation. And I was even teaching this to my students today. The blue is angelite, and the gray with the flashes is labradorite, by the way, which is the new moon stone. And honestly, you should keep this and use this in meditation at every new moon from now on, because it'll have ceremonial value for you now. The labradorite has beautiful color flashes on it, and it's said to be the stone of new moon intention setting, because what it represents is your own inner light illuminating the darkness, and that's what the new moon is. Our ancestors thought the new moon was important because they couldn't figure out why it was completely dark. Where'd the moon go? And the symbolic nature of what it represented for them, the new moon, your ancestors, my ancestors, is that without the moon's light to guide our way, we have to use our own intuition. We have to use our own inner lantern. And that's what labradorite represents. There is a light that never goes out. It's your own inner light. And so even when the sky is completely dark, sounds like a Stevie Nicks song, doesn't it? Or a Fleetwood Mac song. Or a Morrissey song. I think there was a Smith song called There's a Light That Never Goes Out. So, even singers and songwriters have worked with the concept, right, that there's some inner light that guides us, and it's a constant source of illumination that doesn't require on any external source to guide you and to lead the way. Have you been seeing, Kit Kat says she's been seeing so many foxes lately. Well, they're crossing your path for a reason, and people always ask me, like, how do you know what your spirit animal helper is? To which I say, what comes around for you? Peacocks come around for me. Cats come around for me. In Journey, the big cats come for me. Like jaguar comes for me every time I journey. Cheetah comes for me. Panther comes for me in Journey. Sometimes whale comes for me. Crow has always been... I have a whole family of crows that lives outside my office here, and they've been here since we moved into the building. And they come and visit me and talk to me. Right? So it's like whatever your... And they can change. And then you'll have a spirit animal that leaves you for a little while and then comes back. Rabbit is one that comes to visit people. Squirrels sometimes. Squirrel's one of my husband's spirit animals. Owls and geese. There's a pair of owls that nested right across the street from my house this year. And starting around 11 p.m., they talk to each other. Woo-hoo, 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 back and forth across the ravine. It's so beautiful because it echoes. Butterflies come for me too, for some of you, dragon and cat for Krista. So I would say just tune in. If you don't quite know what spirit animals are really connecting to you energetically, just notice what comes across your path and pay attention, because it is a sign to you. There's some medicine in there. And so if foxes have been crossing your path, it's a sign for you that you need to break out of some old patterns and stop limiting your frame of reference, if you will. So I'm going to light the bottom of my candles just to drip some wax onto my plate to help them adhere. And also just because I like to burn shit. It's very cathartic for me to burn things. And I totally blame that on my astrological profile. I actually get really excited when I get to torch things up a little bit. Makes me scary in the kitchen, I will say. I've had my share of mishaps. Although I think my fire skills have dramatically improved over the year. Oh, it looks really pretty. I wish you could see the gold wax mixed into the purple, and it made this kind of teal blue color in between. It's really pretty. I highly recommend that. Is it the Smiths? Thank you. I'm a Smiths Morrissey fan from back in the day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you are younger than me. Probably. Okay. Now, what else did I want to tell you? So tonight's about making sense of your life. Engaging clarity, flexibility with Fox. And here's the question I want you to ask. There's actually 2 questions I want you to ask. Ready? And if you really want to receive, by the way, what I'm sharing with you, close your eyes. Let yourself kind of fall into the energy. I'm going to smudge one more time because we've just had a lot of different things happening here today in the city, so I want to just clear the energy out before we begin. So the first question I want to ask is this. What dream have you abandoned in the past because it didn't seem realistic? Something you really wanted, but you let it go, either because the circumstances weren't realistic, the relationship wasn't realistic, the timing wasn't realistic. But what did you let go of at some point in the past? And I want you to think, choose something that still means something to you. Like, I wish I would have done that. I really should have tried that again. Maybe if the timing was different, it would have worked. What is that for you? Right? Pam said to be married, have a bunch of kids. The idea of a bunch of kids really freaks me out. I have 2, and that's capacity for me. Being a professional singer for Lillian, publishing her book for Alana, traveling to Shasta for crystalline healing. You should go to Shasta. I'm going to try to convince you. All of the last decade for Sarah Bradley, going back to school for Bree. There's a love for Jill, right? Being a cartoonist for Wayne. Isn't that cool? It's neat to see your dreams. Buying a house for Irene. Being a singer for TW. Jody wanted 5 kids and got 2. Maybe that's a blessing, Jody. I don't know. I'm a very happy mother of 2. I put the kibosh on anything else after that because I'm so happy with what I have. Finishing the degree for Gabriel Marie, right? Products that Alita wants to produce, creative writing for Heather, being a full-time artist for Amanda. Hiking the Appalachian Trail for Linda Bryan. How cool is that? And ballet dancing for Jen. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Right? Okay. So tonight, if you're open to it, one of the things I want to do in our meditation is I want to breathe energy into an old vision for you. Think about that. Focus your attention for just a moment on what that old vision is and how you might breathe some energy into it. Lisa said being independent. And I like that, Lisa Patterson, because it doesn't have to be anything super defined. Like that's more of a concept, right? Or like an experience or a feeling, and that's okay too. And then Tasha's is very specific. She wants to open a small restaurant, which is awesome too. Okay, that was the first question I wanted to ask you. The second question I wanted to ask you is, what do you want? Which sounds like an easy question, but tonight I'm going to make you break it down into 2 parts. Because we all have a light and a shadow, right? Isn't that interesting? Jennifer Stanford said, wow, so many people with the same dream as me. It's no accident that you're here, right? I mean, right here, right now. Why are you here right now? How did you get here right now? A lot of you are new, right? Like, how'd that happen? I don't think it's an accident. If you're here right now, it's because the universe wants you to answer these questions tonight. Because in answering these questions, you're going to create a new trajectory for your life. And it begins now. And like I said, summer solstice is June 21st. That is the gateway to solar energy in the northern hemisphere. We turn the great wheel of time from spring to summer, and that engages the fire and the power and the fullness of all of that very, linear, masculine, direct fire energy. And so you're here because the universe wants to live something through you. It wants to birth something through you. And if you don't get with the program on your own, it has to put you in places. You're going to hear a crazy purple-haired lady say, I need you to tell me what you want. But otherwise, why would you be here, right? Right? It's beautiful. And look at that. I mean, I will say my intention tonight is that all of your desires come to pass for you with great ease and perfect alignment with the reason you chose to come back and be human again this time. I really wish that for you. When I looked at it makes me kind of emotional, but when I looked at your intentions just now in that feed, my thought was, if all of that happened, how much more beautiful this planet would be than it is right now. If you finished your writing, if you finished your degree and then went into serving the public in whatever way, if you helped addicts, if you taught children, if you if you created life, if you helped animals. Like you have those desires because the planet needs you to do those things in order to make this the kind of place that we want to be together. It's not selfish. It's not unimportant. In fact, I would say it's priority number 1. And if I was a spirit guide, I would move those chess pieces around in exactly the same way. I think it's a very brilliant system that they've put in place, and you're in the right place at the right time. Okay. So tonight, first we're going to blend our incense, and then we're going to move into our meditation. So I'm going to tell you quickly about the oils that you're working with, the energetic, the frequencies. And again, we're going to be blending them all into this bottle. In fact, I think I'm going to drop my camera down just so you can see the process a little bit. And hopefully you guys enjoy this. I enjoy crafting of any kind. So whether it's with essential oils or paint or whatever it is, I just like the whole process. I'm not sure when or if we've used Jam Rosa. It's a great question. I don't think we have. So Jam Rosa, why don't we start with Blue Lotus? You have to decide how much of each oil you want to put in. And what I will tell you is use your intuition, okay? Just go with your gut. And then I'm going to teach you how to blend using your nose. So start with Blue Lotus with me. I want you to take a deep inhale of Blue Lotus. Isn't it fun? Now Blue Lotus opens your third eye. Blue lotus was sacred in ancient Egypt, and in fact, pharaohs were often buried with dried blue lotus flowers. Nymphea caerulea is the Latin for blue lotus, and it opens up all of your subtle senses. Your energetic body vibrates very intensely with the frequency of blue lotus, and I haven't offered it to you in a really long time. So I'm going to pour about half my bottle in there. Let's see how far that went. I'm going to put just a little bit more. I really love Blue Lotus. And especially because I want to use this blend to get a little soft. Inhaling Blue Lotus will make you soft. It softens the central nervous system and calms and relaxes and balances. Balsam of Peru does the same thing. It's one of my favorites. People either love it or they hate it. We're trying to get more EOs in stock, but it's hard. It's expensive to import them, and it's just hard for us, but we're trying to do more. That's why we put it in the kit, to kind of get back in the swing of offering you EOs. So Balsam of Peru is balancing. If you're too much in your head, it brings you into your body. If you're too in your body, it puts you in your head. And in my experience, oh, that smells good. Whoa, you guys, smell the two together. I've never actually just taken the time to just smell Balsam of Peru and Blue Lotus. Oh my God, I think that's my favorite thing I've ever smelled. Is anybody else doing this right now? Oh my God, that is so good. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit more of my balsam in there. That is just intoxicating. And I love how viscous it is. It's really thick, the Balsam of Peru, but I think that's extra sexy. I really do. And on its own, some people don't like it, but then as soon as they mix it with anything, they woo. Yeah, I gave you a pipette, but I don't measure. I make perfume like a Greek woman cooks. I throw shit in a pot and use my intuition. It just makes it really hard when somebody wants to cook the same meal afterward. They're like, how much of that did you use? And I'm like, I don't know, pinch. Maybe a cup. Maybe 2 cups. So this is called Balsam de Peru, or Balsam of Peru. It's actually not from Peru, which is really funny. That's like the big joke of it. But it's intoxicating. It does come from South America, but not from Peru. Okay, and then frankincense is holy. Holy, holy, holy. If you don't have the kit, just play along. Enjoy the process with us. Frankincense will hijack the smell, by the way, but energetically it's very important. This is for setting sacred space. This turns any space into a church, in my experience, okay? But if you put more than a drop or two, the whole blend is going to smell like frankincense. And I don't want that. That's not what I'm trying to make here, so I'm being very sparing with the frankincense. But I want the energy of it. In fact, I think that was still too much. So I'm going to go back and add just a little bit more of my Blue Lotus. This blend is off the hook, I will tell you, energetically. We put the best ingredients in here, and the vibration is intense. Okay, let me see if I got that back to where I wanted it to be. Did it, Teresa? Frankincense and myrrh, by the way, are antibacterial. They will stop a cold in its tracks. They balance and regulate the immune system. I mean, they're master healers. The reason that the wise men gave frankincense and myrrh to the Christ child was to protect his physical health. And then they gave him gold to give him financial resources. That's my theory anyway on why those were the gifts. Oh, I just spilled my blend. I really just did that. Trying to get a baby wipe out and I spilled my blend. Welcome to being human, everybody. My notebook is going to smell really, really, really good. That's not the first time this has happened, by the way. Ay. Okay, well, let me do a little quick fix here. I'm going to take this page out of my notebook. Put that over there. Oi. It's going to smell really good for the rest of time, and that's okay. I can be happy about that. I love you, Alexis. I can feel you entering the room. Actually, it's Hannah.
Just in case.
Thank you. What a shit mess
else?
that is. No, I'm sad for my oils, but it's okay. I'll get it back where it needed to be. Telling you guys. I feel like I'm getting clumsier as I get older, too. Does anybody else feel like that? I feel like butterfingers sometimes. Okay. Whatever. It's exactly as it was meant to be. I just was supposed to use all my oils, and I didn't know that. Okay. Don't want to like not use that oil. Feels like a waste. Okay. Now, let me make sure there's still some frankincense in it. I'm going to put a little bit more frankincense because it got too soft on me. Spirit guide my hand. And now, after these 3 ingredients, I want you to take a moment and sit with your blend. Oh, it's good. I got it back. Wow. I actually like it better now. Honestly. I think, honestly, I agree with you, Lisa Patterson. I think I'm living in the 5th dimension. In the 5th dimension, like, I don't think those could have spilled. So maybe my spirit and my body are not coordinated. Okay. Now, I had you kind of pause because now we're going to work with the eucalyptus. I'm not missing anything, am I? I'll fall down here. Oh, it did. The Jamrosa. Okay, the eucalyptus is going to change your blend, but it's a very important oil. It's a body healer. That's a good idea, actually, although there's ink all over it, Robin. Okay, I'm in love with this. I didn't think I was going to love it. That's why I wanted us to pause. I love the eucalyptus with it. So I'm going to be a little bit liberal. Eucalyptus is the master healer of the body systems. It detoxifies, purifies, energizes, balances, activates. I use eucalyptus every single day. Every single day. Eucalyptus, frankincense, and patchouli are go-tos. My eucalyptus I use in the bath with a little bit of Himalayan sea salt at a minimum every day because it is so powerful for purifying and detoxifying your energetic field. Lori loves it too. All right, now Jamrosa is an interesting one. Jamrosa is the oil of integration, balance, and alignment, and that's why I put it in the kit because it represents the place where the twins unite. Think of this, and so I want you to set an intention as you add the Jamrosa last but not least, okay? And if you haven't smelled it before, I don't know how you guys would describe it. It's herbaceous, but it's mellow, and it has almost it's like herbaceous, but it's flowery at the same time. There's definitely a floral hint to it. Reminds me a little bit of sassafras in a way, smell. There's nothing quite like it. But you know what? If you have other oils that you want to integrate and work into the blend, you're welcome to do that too. Okay. So I am setting an intention to balance my light and my shadow. This is coming next week. These are the adjustable pink tourmaline rings that we just got in. Aren't they beautiful? I am setting the intention to balance my light and my shadow, to balance my joy and my sorrow, so that I never only experience one or the other. May my sorrows always be infused with joy. And may my joys always be mindful of the other side as well. May I always be balanced, right? Always mindful. And I want to balance my light and my shadow so that I don't ignore my shadow, but I don't overindulge my light, so that those forces are always in balance. I want to balance and I want you to think about your balances too, right? Like, what are you trying to balance at this time in your life? What is it that needs to be negotiated or integrated, right? I seek balance of time so that I don't feel like I'm too much in this world or too much in the spirit world. So I want to be able to balance my work in the worlds. So I'm calling in balance, integration, beauty, and healing with that last step. Can I please not spill this again? What's going on with me today? Got nice ink going on my hands too. But you know what? Perfuming is not clean, and I don't necessarily love being clean. So if you feel the same way, we are in good company today. And that smells really good. That smells really, really good. So what you can do is put your finger over it, turn it 3 times to just complete the mixture, the unification. It does kind of look like a Hamza, doesn't it? There is like a hand. The left hand, of course, represents the right brain and creativity and movement and femininity and compassion, and that's really the energy of this ceremony too, so maybe it's meant to reflect that. Okay, so I'm going to put the dropper in my bottle. I'm going to hold the bottle in my hand, and we're going to say a blessing or a prayer. So may this blend, which holds the energy of an open third eye, clear inner vision, master healing of the body systems. It also holds the energy of frankincense, which is clearing and purification and setting of sacred space. Holds the energy of balsam of Peru, which is soothing, nurturing, grounding, stabilizing. And then the jam rosa, which is balancing, aligning, integrating, activating. I ask that this blend do all of those things in my life and for anyone else who will experience it, activating, opening, aligning, balancing, healing. And may it be used in service of my highest good and the highest good of all who are in my circle and in my community and in my space. Amen, aho, and so it is. Woo. It smells so good. Into the dress it goes. I love it. Okay, and then what you do is you light your charcoal, you torch that up, get that cooking real good. I probably overdid it, but that's okay. And then give it just a second to get cooking. You guys liking your blends? If you made one, it's kind of fun, right? And then a drop for the feminine, left side, compassion, love, light, beauty, and a drop for the masculine, direction, courage, power, strength. And you can inhale that, and I will tell you that smell is unbelievable. And that's what we call liquid incense. Isn't it beautiful? And look how much smoke you get, you guys, from 2 drops. From 2 drops of oil. But it has to be pure EOs. It doesn't burn the same way when you put your carrier oil. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love that. Laura used sandalwood, lemon, and patchouli. That's a good combination too. Isn't that beautiful? And it's still going. So this bottle that you made tonight is going to last you quite a long time. And that's what I wanted to really teach you about liquid incense too. And you can use any essential oils. I mean, all I did was use essential oils. But I came up with the concept of liquid incense. I had never seen it before, but I've always burned essential oils. Oops. I have always burned them. Let me find my way back to you here. My computer is really, my little altar is covered in all the things. So it really goes a long way, and it gives you a new way to use your essential oils that maybe you haven't thought of before, and hopefully inspires you a little bit. Okay, so now that we burned, we diffused our space. I can put my notes down and give myself a little bit more room to work. We're going to light our candles. Whew. And before we begin the meditation, I just want to officially open the space and welcome the guides and guardians of the 7 sacred gateways to be with us this evening. Opening the sacred gateway to the east for a new beginning tonight. Beautiful air energy of Gemini. It's beautiful Gemini New Moon. Opening the gateway to the south for creativity and passion, acknowledging our shadow and our deeper desires. Welcoming the guardians of the west. Water energies of renewal and purification. And then welcoming the guardians of the north for stability, courage, protection, and wisdom. Oof. And so I want you to begin by lighting your golden candle this evening. This candle represents the light in you. Will you guys still be able to see if I put my camera back up? I like to be able to see you too, but I'll make sure you can see my candles. Thank you, Kim. The golden candle represents the light in you. And by that I mean all the parts of you that are easy to love, easy to understand, easy to appreciate. Your laughter, your talent, your creativity, your passion, all of that, and everything that's known to you about yourself. Your sense of humor, the way you love others, all of those parts of you. I want you to ask yourself tonight, what is your light desire? And if you can't think of anything, Joanna, you might be overthinking it. Keep it simple. Maybe your light desires to laugh. Maybe your light desires to sleep an extra 20 minutes tomorrow. Maybe your light desires to have some chocolate before you go to bed tonight, right? Don't make it too serious. Keep it light. Irene's claiming freedom. What does your light want? What does your light want? My light wants more laughter. I'm really feeling that. And it's so accurate under a Gemini new moon, because Geminis laugh. Like, they're jokesters. They have an incredible sense of humor. In fact, Geminis think everything is funny, sometimes even inappropriately, like, that's not funny, but they will find a way to make things funny. So that's what I'm craving. Relaxation, a slimmer you for Adriana, dance and beauty and laughter and joyfulness. I want joyfulness. I want companionship. I want deeper connection, right? I want some fun. I love that, right? Like laughter and fun for Larissa, fun for Colin, relaxing into her life for Cecilia, more communication for Dan. Hi, Carla, how are you? Security for Katie Marie, confidence for Lelena, to be less stressed. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and so tonight we set this intention that our light in our life will experience the return of this energy, this laughter, this lightness, this freedom, this rest, this companionship, this total laughter, silliness, fun, breaking the rules, breaking the mold, taking it easy. Ooh. Okay. This is the more difficult work. What does your shadow want? The harder to love part, the part that feels like you ignore it or you don't like it. The part that is harder to communicate with. The part that hides from you a little bit. What does that part want? It's interesting, right? Dee said healing. Myri said sex. A shadow does want sex. I mean, we shouldn't shy away from that, right? Romance, risky business, respect. I love that. Respect. Grounding, forgiveness, to be heard, to be seen, to scream, security, right? Let that out, because what you're doing right now is the big work of the night. When you're able to give your shadow a voice, that's the end of skeletons in your closet. You know that, right? That whole saying of like, oh, she's got skeletons in her closet. That's just unexamined shadow. And so you take the power away from those things to frighten you or to scare you or to sneak up on you when you give it a voice. Woo! Both, of course. Jacqueline, what a brilliant question, too, from Jacqueline Downing. She asked, can both want the same thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing when your light and your shadow are going to be satisfied with a singular outcome? That's efficient. I kind of like it. To friendship, to be loved, to be acknowledged. A lot of times what the shadow wants, at least my shadow, is the ability to grieve, the ability to have its emotions, the ability to feel the rage sometimes, the ability to be pissed. Again, you can't live there. But if you tell the shadow, nope, we're not going to do that, we're not going to think about that, we're not going to acknowledge that, which is kind of how I was raised. My family was one of those families where it's like, oh, we don't talk about that. That's uncomfortable kind of thing, right? Then you have to do what I did, which is like learn a new pattern and break a chain, like give it a voice. But if you haven't let yourself grieve, if you haven't let yourself be pissed, if you haven't let yourself be frustrated and resentful or whatever it is, like get in there a little bit tonight and give it a voice. And so we're going to commit, right? Speaking your truth. Rhiannon had a power surge. But, Jerry Amari, beautiful comment. She said, my shadow wants to be loved. All of our shadows want to be loved. Our shadows feel like the kid you don't like. You know what I mean? Like the kid in class that nobody wants to spend time with or hang out with or pay attention to. That's what your shadow feels like. And how do you handle a child that feels ignored? What's the best way to heal a child that feels ignored? Is to turn around and pay attention to it. And say, I see you, I love you, I'm here to take care of you, I acknowledge you, I see the best in you. And then to bring them into the fold and say, you are accepted, you are loved. You can't run the show. We don't let our shadow have the keys to the castle. You're not the boss here, but you certainly have a voice. Even the icky, sticky, tricky parts, right? Less anger, right? You gotta hug them. That inner shadow you needs a hug, and it needs you to stop saying, we don't talk about that, or that was, you, that, all of that. We can't constantly sit in judgment of our own self. It doesn't work that way. That's right. Okay. Intention time. I want you to focus on your candles or close your eyes. You can focus on my candles if you don't have candles burning. And so we are going to pierce the veil tonight. We're going to send the energy of these two intentions, or one for some of you, up to Spirit. Great Spirit, we ask that you receive these intentions from our heart this evening for joy, for peace, for fun, for passion, for desire and sensuality, for connection and creativity, to be seen, to be heard, to experience and to fully feel our feelings, to be allowed to have our process. And we set these intentions on this Gemini New Moon, in community with each other, in your presence, and with the support of our spirit guides. And we give thanks for blessings that are already on their way. Big deep breath there. Anything else outside of that question that you want to set an intention for tonight? Prosperity. Remember, tonight's all about duality, so bring in all the options. What else do you want? Prosperity, health, happiness, a new partner, another partner. I don't know what's on your heart, but anything else that you want to set an intention for tonight, now is the time. Security, right? Connection, belonging, confidence, spontaneity. We give thanks for our time together, for Spirit's presence, for the energy that we've raised. We set these intentions and seal them, and we give thanks. Amen aho. And so it is. It is done, it is done, it is done. And we receive, we receive, we receive. And when you feel like you've set those intentions and sealed them, you can blow out your candles. I lit them light and then shadow. So I'm going to first blow out shadow. Whoop. Or I'm going to blow out both, how it was meant to be. And then watch the smoke. I have no air on in the room right now, so it's really accurate. And always watch where your smoke goes. Mine is going slightly west. Very slightly west. Which means I moved some emotional energy tonight. If it went north, you're moving some grounding energy or ancestral energy. If it went west, you're moving emotions. If it goes to the east, you're moving thought patterns, thought vibrations, maybe old ways of thinking or old limiting beliefs. And if it goes south, you're moving energies of transformation, shape-shifting, shedding your skin, becoming a newer version of yourself or a clearer version of yourself. So that's south, that's fire energy. Beautiful intentions you guys set. And then Rosie, if it's going direct, that's sort of all of the energies at play at once. So it's, for me, that's sort of like the fusion of north, south, east, and west. It's a balancing. And that's just an affirmation, I think, that you're in the right place at the right time. And maybe you're showing up to your work in a balanced way tonight so that, there isn't one element that's dominating. I'm not surprised it's water for me in west, because I've been going through a little bit of an emotional transformation in the last 12 to 18 months, and it's ongoing, because water is my learning edge. I'm all fire. Water is my opposite element, and it's the one I have the least of, and so it's my learning edge. It's what I'm here to figure out. I'm here to figure out how to feel. Slowly but surely, I am learning. Sometimes I just want to burn it down. Well, I hope you enjoy this tonight, you guys. I certainly enjoyed being with you. We're going to have one more step before we finish. And so I want you to, if you have your palm stones, take your palm stones. I felt called to put angelite in my left hand because it's angelic feminine, and the labradorite in my right hand because it's sort of linear masculine, but either way, whatever feels right and resonates with you. And these can be very powerful meditation tools for you because it's sort of the yin and the yang. Represents different chakras as well. But as you hold these stones, I want you to visualize, this is the most important part of intention setting, I want you to visualize those two intentions or desires coming to pass. What will it look like, smell like, feel like, taste like, look like? Did I say look like already? Look, smell, feel, taste. What do I miss? Sense. What will you be aware of as your intentions come to pass? If there's more joy in your life, what will that look like? How will you feel? Where will you be? Who will be there? If there's more freedom, if there's more happiness, if there's more acknowledgement, if there's more balance. It makes me excited. That's that Gemini energy. It just makes me feel like optimistic. And you should feel that way. I do feel that way. I always feel optimistic. One of my favorite teachers taught me a long time ago, and it's some of the most valuable but simple wisdom I've ever heard, which is he woke up every morning and said, something really good is about to happen. And he said, I believed it with all my heart. And he said, I will tell you every day something of my life, something good has happened to me. And you can say it's wishful thinking, but why do they call it wishful thinking? Do you wake up in the morning and say, something great is going to happen today and I can't wait to see what it is? Or do you wake up in the morning going, ugh, oh, I got to do this again, right? I think you kind of choose your adventure, right? Today's a great day for something good to happen. What if? Oh my gosh, there could be amazing things right around the corner. And as soon as you get excited, the universe gets excited because you're raising a frequency and it matches it. And that's how physics works. That's why magic isn't woo-woo, it's science, right? I mean, you're raising a specific frequency and the universe matches it. Like attracts like, doesn't it? Okay. Amen aho, so it is. I wish you many moments ahead to celebrate, not just in this lunar cycle between now and the next new moon, which is coming next month in Cancer. We have a big watery new moon next month, very different energy. But tonight was really special. And what I want you to do, if I can give you some homework between now and next month's new moon, it would be this. Try to live in duality. When you find yourself saying yes, no, black, white, this or that, and getting stuck in those binaries, remember tonight, remember that the definition of intelligence is that you can hold both. Maybe there's other options, or like my mantra for tonight, there's always another way. Your job is to figure out what that alternative route is to your happiness, to your satisfaction, to your peace, to your prosperity. There's always another way. And as soon as you ask, what's the other way? The universe will go, well, look behind door number 2. And then you're like, oh, that's the other way. It's so simple. I could have been going to door number 2 the whole time. You're so welcome, you guys. Really happy to be with you. Okay. Other things I wanted to tell you about from my little situation here. Tomorrow, June 4th, actually I'm just going to show this to you. Tomorrow, if you are in my Facebook group called Gem Haven, I'm teaching a free class on gridding at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Then on the 17th, if you're in my perfumery class, I'm teaching a free class on perfuming about top, middle, and base notes and carrier oils. Then we have full moon on the 17th. Then we have summer solstice event on the 21st. Then we have Instagram Live on the 24th and Cosmic Comfort on the 27th. I'm starting to publish this on Instagram and on Facebook so that you can RSVP. There are 7 hours of free live classes from me to you in June. And that's on top of those of you who are in Soul Shift, which is my paid class, are getting that on top of Soul Shift. So I hope you enjoy. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not done with you yet, so hold on. And so before we go, I want to remind you that if you get your new moon tools for next month, tonight, before midnight, you're entering to win this gorgeousness, which has an inner child. This is a large quartz generator, and I'm going to be putting it in the package with someone's new moon tools. But you have till midnight Pacific time. And don't forget your code is GEM18 for 18% off today. Woo! I want to give thanks to all of the guides and the guardians who have attended us this evening, brought their magic to our circle, releasing the guides and the guardians of the North. We thank you for your wisdom and your stability, your encouragement, and your protection. We release you with gratitude. To the guides and the guardians of the West, we thank you for the purification, the emotional healing this evening. Beautiful. The duality energy is in the West too for me. It represents the ebb and the flow of water, and so very much celebrating the water element tonight, releasing those guardians with gratitude. Guardians of the South, we release you. We thank you for helping us to shift and transform tonight, to embrace more duality in our life, to allow both and to search for new solutions to old problems with a new mindset. That transformation is so welcome. We release you with gratitude. And guardians of the East, we thank you for the new dawn, the new day, the new beginning, a new way of thinking and behaving and moving in the world. We thank you for this beautiful air energy under this Gemini new moon, for helping us to come together, a meeting of the minds tonight, to open up new pathways and possibilities. And with that, our circle is complete. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. So enjoy your tools. Team SG has put the link up for you for the new moon tools if you're interested in gathering them. Next month, we're doing a water ceremony with turtle. It's going to be really, really fun. We've never done anything like it. It's a totally new meditation and a totally new approach to working with Cancer energy next month, so I hope you enjoy it. But I'm really thrilled that you were here. If you did the work tonight, and I saw what you did, tonight can really change your life. It'll give you a new way of thinking, a new way of focusing, a new way of integrating, and a new way of experiencing all of the energies, all of the beauty that surrounds you. And so I hope you can celebrate that, because I'm celebrating it for you. So the homework, Cindy, is to sit with duality this month. That's what I was saying earlier. If you find yourself saying yes, no, black, white, this, that, yes, either or, remind yourself that under that Gemini new moon, you committed to both and, this and that. It doesn't have to be black, right, yes, no, right, wrong. Like, we got to get out of those binaries, because those binaries divide us and they limit us. And what Gemini teaches us, it's all the gray in between. That's where the beauty is. The beauty isn't in yes or no, it's in the maybe. Because that's a space of play and curiosity and exploration and expansion. That's not a place of limitation. And I really think that that's the power of magic. If you can play in that space of duality, of accepting that everything is possible, and then being open to receiving everything. I think that's really where you want to move in your life. And it's possible. And it starts tonight. You did really good work tonight. I'm proud of you. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow for Gem Haven gridding class at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's a free class. There were tools for it, but they're sold out. But I would still come and learn. I'm going to teach you how to lay out a grid, how to activate a grid, how to deactivate a grid. I'm going to teach you what moon phases are best for putting up a grid, what moon phases are best for charging a grid, and what moon phase is best for removing a grid or deactivating a grid. So if you have a lot of gridding questions, would love to have you there. I'm really looking forward to teaching you that tomorrow. So in the meantime, have a beautiful evening, you guys. I'll see you soon.